Okay. Ita Mexicanatani. Good morning. It is the not quite early AM of Friday, April 3rd, 2020, in the lunar cycle Saaki Sum, the duck moon. And I've stepped outside of my home for a little bit of fresh air allowance. Not that there's any limitation to the allowance, but although I can't quite say that because I think a limitation is coming. I suspect a limitation is coming, at least to this experience of really just having, body to air, mouth to air, nose to air experience. I think my days of this freedom are limited. I don't know how far the regulations will extend, but I feel as though within a matter of days we are going to be told that we are not allowed in any public spaces, including in our neighborhood streets, without masks. If this is the appropriate measure to take, then it's the appropriate measure to take, and I have no qualms with it and will comply. But until that is the formal regulation, I'm going to continue to enjoy this, what we got here for the moment. So that's one little update. Yeah, I noticed in my video yesterday that I touch my face a lot. And I guess I've got to train myself out of that if I want to be safe, Yeah, I'm a face toucher. I'm a beard petter. I think I'm in for a trim today. I think I'm going to trim up my beard and my hair. That's one thing on my agenda. I don't know what else the day has in store. This is did I already say this is day 10 of 14 of the quarantine for Chelsea and I? I must have already said that, but that's where we're at. 10 of 14, so not too much longer. We'll be able to get the kids back here, and then I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. I'm getting pretty anxious about the economic situation for myself as I see my bank account not increasing, just decreasing, and there's not much in there. So I'm concerned about that, because even though we were able to get a non-payment with no penalties for April from our landlord, we still got another stack of bills and expenses and stuff in an average month, including my new, truck loan. So that's how rapidly things change. I think I've made 2 payments on that loan, and the world has totally turned to where I felt so economically secure as to take an automobile loan, which I generally would never do, to this thing where I'm sure many people feel like I do, very concerned about whether, what the future holds in terms of whether their old jobs or businesses are going to be able to continue, right? Like with mine, of course, I know there's always going to be wildlife work, some kind of wildlife work. But I think I'm going to take a hit with this you know. It's going to be a good thing for the skunks and raccoons. They're going to benefit because people are not outdoors, eh? Everybody's keeping themselves holed up for safety. And the animals' behaviors are changing and they're responding. My friend Darren documented mourning doves in San Francisco that he was able to walk up to on the ground, and that's just like, that's not mourning dove behavior. I've noticed now the last couple of days, I have to concede that I've seen the same behavior here in the crows. I mean, typically a crow here in Lethbridge does not let you get too close unless they're very familiar with you, which they can be. But they generally won't let you get too close, and especially if they're on the ground. You know, a crow from, 2 houses down on the ground will take flight and find a high perch if they notice me approaching from that distance. Typically here, not everywhere, but here. And now, I can walk right past them, and it'd be like maybe 10 feet away or whatever. So animal behavior is changing a little bit, but like I say, the skunks, the raccoons, the wildlife that I typically deal with, and the snakes too. If nobody's out and about, they're not going to encounter the snakes, and so the snakes will probably, hopefully, have a relatively safe and unmolested summer. And I hope the best for the skunks and raccoons too. But I can definitely see my wallet taking a hit from that, and so I'm really counting on this Canada Emergency Relief benefit thing to come into place, to at least give me the 4 months of a couple $1,000s a month, so that I can get inventive. Because that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to get inventive. By the way, I still got no symptoms. My nose is a little bit like runny right now because I've been out here in the -9, -10 degree weather, and the noses just do that. It's not I'm feeling good, very healthy. My legs are a little bit, they felt it yesterday's run at 10K. Yeah, the legs felt it. So kind of resting my legs today, but I might thought about maybe doing some weight training or something today. That could be another thing on my agenda. Haircut, weight training. I could get started on my video project that I keep procrastinating. I don't know. We'll see. But right now I'm taking my fresh air and getting, like I say, more anxious about the economic future, because that relief benefit sounds like it's going to buy 4 months, having a minimum income for 4 months. But then what? Hey, well, what if so many different businesses and stuff have bankrupt and people's, and we're in a huge depression? Then what's going to happen? Hey, it's going to get interesting, potentially. So I'm just looking. There's a flicker up here in this tree, just hanging out. I've seen all the neighborhood birds this morning, the starlings and the house sparrows, and the female merlin at least flew in for a bit. Crows, magpies, the blue jays, they've all been around. I've been given the the magpies, blue jays, crows a little bit of handouts. Last few days, as it's been so cold and snowy, I put some offerings out for them, because I figure without the humans out like negligently tossing food garbage on the ground here and there, what are these guys, what are they going to survive on? Well, they'll make their way, but it's going to be a tighter economy for them too. Yeah, I'm going to have to get very frugal. My days of morning near beers with coffee are just about over. I don't know why I like that blend. It's my energy coffee. So begins day 10 in quarantena. Only things that were really good for juicing still in our fridge were the hold on, I'm gonna raise this a little bit. Tomatoes, carrots, some of the carrots and some of the celery. All of our green leaf stuff, our arugula and
that was bad.
And our what do you call it, lettuce and all of that, yeah, bad. A lot of the small tomatoes were bad, the bell peppers were bad. Just the big tomatoes, the middle of the celery, which was questionable, but I think if we drink it today, we'll be fine.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Breakfast. Toast breakfast.
Yeah.
I forgot we had turkey in there.
We do have turkey.
Yeah, we're almost
Turkey
out of bread,
sandwich?
but we got turkey. And I'm gonna cool our fresh vegetable juice, and we'll drink some of that. Get a good immuno
Cleanse.
boost. Yeah, and I guess it'll be haircutting time. Next on the agenda. That's a haircut.
Get sick, and a certain large percentage are going to get better, and unfortunately some people are going to die, and all that's awful. But I kind of see that. That makes sense in my mind. I kind of see a disease. I see people, that all makes sense. What doesn't make sense, the Z-Pack or whatever the current treatment is,
Yeah.
when do people start hugging again?
What do you mean? It's gonna be crazy. I mean, I think that the idea is we're all so starved for touch.
Yeah.
That, like, we're gonna have a jubilee like stuff she's doing on masks.
Yeah, explain that.
Well, she's virus filled. So you're back propagating what you wish to be true to get the action that you're looking for. What we have.
Yeah, that's how I would break it down. And this is what my English like transliterate or breakdown would be. It's like first person prefix, future prefix, able, that goat is able, and then the one you're trying to figure out, instead of goat though, I just have it as oat though, go to do. And I know your prof criticized the go part, you know, but it is kind of the closest to the English. I think it would be like go do. That's how I usually mark it, and it's one of those kind of I don't even know if it's would be considered a verb unto itself. It's this prefix that's added to verbs that makes it, instead of just doing that verb, like in this case ixgima is the verb for hunt, hey? And so when you put the oto in front of it, otoixgima or otoixgim, then it means go to do hunting, right? Instead of just hunting. So it attaches to intransitive verb stems. It's evening time now, and we are having another little snowstorm. I haven't even been looking at the weather, so I had no idea this is coming. Just here it is. We were sitting here looking at our rectangles.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Chelsea noticed it was snowing. Having some tea. Wasn't too unproductive of a day for me. Got my hair cut, juice made, got a little workout in. Had an impromptu class with Blaze. It was nice actually to talk to another human being. It felt kind of normal almost.
Yeah.
Even though it was just online, it was really...
That's nice.
Yeah, it was cool to talk to another person and have them interested in something that didn't have to do with the virus stuff or anything like that. It's tough not to be distracted by that news, you know. I listened to a little bit of it while I was working out with the podcast stuff, not the actual, you know, the traditional media news, but I don't know. There's all kinds of craziness out there in the world right now. Every day is changing. Today we learned that the U.S. is going to maybe stop blocking some medical supplies to Canada, including masks, you know, being shipped here. We also heard you know, very well beloved doctor on the Blood Reserve, Dr. Esther, saying that since nobody has the virus on the Blood Reserve right now, and the chances are if it gets there, it's going to be brought from somebody moving in from the city. Maybe it's time to close the borders of the Blood Reserve. That could make things interesting because Chelsea works on the Blood Reserve, although they probably still allow healthcare workers in and out, but you never know. They might tell her she has to stay there, you know, for a period until, you know, but that's going to be a indefinite period, right? We don't know when this whole thing is going to blow over, so I don't know. Crazy times. You know, I think being locked in the house doesn't help because my mind ends up just going there, you know, just constantly being like locked in the house and things are not right and the world is just weird. At least there's somebody walking a dog being kind of normal. Person, a human. He doesn't even have a mask.
Nope.
That's gonna end soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, day 10 effectively complete. Just got to make it to sundown here and get tired and rack out. But day 10 of 14. Not too much longer to go.